Love this song, and as a breast cancer survivor and thriver, this month is deeply personal for me. I was diagnosed 7 years ago this very week after my dear friend and fellow cancer survivor Robin Roberts convinced me to get my first mammogram live on Good Morning America in front of about 5 million people or so. So today, Dr. Jen and I are talking to someone who is now standing in the same position I did back in 2013. Her name is Tiffani Ratliff, and she has never had a breast cancer screening. Tiffani is with us now to tell us more about her story. So Tiffani, thank you so much for being with us today, because I know it takes some courage to talk about this, and especially in your circumstance. I see the emotion that you're wearing, because breast cancer runs in your family, and so there is fear about getting screened. And I know intellectually knowledge is power, but tell us why you're finally now stepping up to the plate saying, I need to do something.
So basically, family is everything to me. My mom is my angel here on earth, and my dad is my angel, in heaven. He actually lost his battle with brain cancer when I was just 3 years old. And then there was my aunt, Ella May, who was diagnosed twice with breast cancer. The first time, she beat it. The second time, it came back with the vengeance. She chose not to have, any treatment. Because as she always told us, her faith was way bigger than her fear. And unfortunately, she succumbed to the disease in 2010. In the midst of that, in 2007, my Aunt Elaine was then diagnosed with breast cancer. She actually had a mastectomy, but we just celebrated her 70th birthday, and she is a 13-year survivor. So she is still thriving and slaying. And in 2018, it really hit hard because my mom was then diagnosed with breast cancer. And when I tell you she is one of the bravest women that I know, I should have had a mammogram. She has been on me for years, but it's just that fear, being 36, having 3 children. I know health is wealth, but that's one of those things that just makes my palms sweaty, my heart, really, really beats faster than a speeding train. And it's truly, it's hard even to think about it, and a nail biter, to think about what the results could be.
Tiffani, you are speaking the truth for so many women who feel the exact same way. I know I've heard it. Dr. Jen has heard it before. So I'm going to give you this opportunity now to ask Dr. Jen some questions that may put your mind at ease. So take the floor.
So, Dr. Jen, my first question to you is, if you have multiple family members that have been diagnosed with this disease, is it safe to deem this hereditary, or is there some sort of genetic marker?
That is really important, because even though only about 5 to 10% of breast cancer cases fall under that hereditary component, family history is always important in medicine. And when you have a strong family history of breast cancer, along with certain other cancers, it is definitely a red flag for genetic testing.
And Tiffani, you know this, we've been preaching this. The earlier you find your cancer, the better chance you have at surviving it, period. That is not a controversial statement. So I know you have another question for Dr. Jen. Go ahead.
Yes, my last question to you, Dr. Jen, would be, I have a smaller bust. So I always said to myself, I went from a 34B to a 38 double D during pregnancy, and I breastfed all 3 of my children. But having said that, the ignorance sometimes set in, and I'm like, oh, I have a smaller bust now. It's not that important, maybe to be tested. Knowing that this test, it should be done annually, am I more or less susceptible to the disease, even though I have a smaller bust?
So, Tiff, a couple of points. Number one, having pregnancies and breastfeeding, good for you, lowers a woman's risk.
Thank you.
In terms of the data about breast size and increased risk of breast cancer, it's kind of all over the place. There are some studies that show that larger breasted women do have an increased risk, but it's not conclusive. But Tiffani, my last words to you, and I'm always here for you if you have more questions. The only thing to be afraid of is the unknown. Remember, the whole purpose behind doing cancer screenings, whether you're a woman looking for breast cancer or a man, is to find something early that can be curable. you come from a line of warriors. You just described the warriors, the women warriors in your family. You are from them. You are one of them. You've got this. So are you going to make a promise here on national television that you are going to get a mammogram before year's end?
I am going to virtually pinky promise that I will definitely schedule that mammogram ASAP. As soon as we're done here, I am going to call my physician.
Good. Thank you.
Your family
and your
needs
family
you.
thanks you.
Yeah.
Yes, Tiffany, we really appreciate it. I know
Thank
it's not
you.
easy to come on national television and talk about this, but thank you because you just changed your life. All right. We really want
Thank
to
you for having me.
All right, Tiffany. And again, sharing your story is one of those things that makes life more possible and powerful because everyone feels motivated to go and put their health first. So she was very brave.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.